Now the Xeno series is known for having a lot of religious references in its games. Names, symbols, Jesus was literally in Xenosaga. But now that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is only a few days away, and seems to be the most Xeno of all the Xenoblade games, I thought I'd see if I could use this tradition to try and figure out what might happen, and what I think the true enemy's real plan may be. Now I haven't seen any of the leaks, so if you're worried about Xenoblade 3 spoilers, I'll only be talking about the things they've shown in trailers in the direct. However, spoiler warning for Xenogears, Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So the focus of this video will have to do with a certain character's name, Noah. Now for those who know of that name, you'll probably think of two things: Project Noah and Noah's Ark. Knowing how Monolith will probably add some kind of religious symbolism into this game, we're going to analyze the story of Noah's Ark and see if we can predict what role Noah's Ark or Project Noah, whatever they end up calling it, will play in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So basically, I'm going to use the story of Noah's Ark as well as Project Noah's role in Xenogears to try and figure out what the plot is going to be. Now first, I should explain what exactly the story of Noah's Ark is. So, one day, God looked down on the earth and realized that the world was full of violence and evil, and so God was like, you know what? Why don't I just purge all the bad people? And begins plans to create a great flood that'll wipe out all the bad people. Well, that seems a bit extreme, but I guess God had some character development post-time skip. Anyway, he tells Noah that, hey, I'm gonna, kill off most of the population in a flood. Could you, build a boat and fill it with 2 of every animal so they could repopulate after? Oh, but leave the dinosaurs. They have also committed many crimes. So Noah builds a boat for him, his family, and the animals to safely ride on, which was known as Noah's Ark. Also, apparently Noah was 600 years old, so, that's cool. On the 600th year of Noah's life, the 2nd month and the 17th day of the month, I thought I would mention that because of the whole Mio having 3 months left and maybe something happens 2 months and 17 days into the game. The windows of heaven were opened and rain came flooding down for 40 days. This caused the entire planet to flood with ocean. Wait, this is just what Klaus did. And then after the rain stopped, the water remained for 150 days. And I'm just gonna quote this next part. And God remembered Noah and every living thing in the ark. And God made a wind pass over the earth. I just thought this was kind of funny, because it seems like God forgot about them and only remembered 150 days later. Oh shoot, I just remembered that I flooded the planet and left Noah without any food or water for 5 months. I'm, gonna do that right now. And then the water started to sink and life could begin anew. Apparently after the flood ended, Noah sacrificed some animals to God, and God was just like, hey, that smells kinda good. You know, maybe I shouldn't kill off most of the population again. But I am gonna need some sacrifices, including humans, and probably your family, so, yeah. And that's the basic story of Noah's Ark. Now there are a few things that caught my eye that could potentially hint at what might happen in Xenoblade 3, and what the consoles may be planning. Of course, like I mentioned before, there was a lot of mention about time. I specifically remember seeing the number 7 and 17 brought up a lot. Now the people of Ionios only have 10 years to live, and Mio is only 3 months away from the end of her life. This could mean that in 2 months and 17 days, something big will happen. Possibly the Project Noah that the consoles may be planning. Now in Xenogears, Project Noah was Kralen's? I don't know how to pronounce his name. It was Kralen's plan to create God as a result of Sophia's death, and the wells, corrupted mutations of humans, were used to be the fuel for this god, which was known as Deus. All this could explain why the flame clocks exist, what the consoles are planning, as well as why the true enemy is keeping this endless war going. Now I think that this evil Noah, not to be confused with regular Noah, or not Noah, sorry if all this Noah talk is confusing you, apparently there's 6, and the other consoles are planning to create or summon some kind of god. Whether that be Zanza, the Fog King, Malos, some kind of wave existence, or something new entirely. In order to do this, as well as transform into their Mobius forms, they need the weird soul energy that rises from the fallen soldiers, as a sort of fuel for this god, which could be what Tylon was talking about in the first trailer.
They're not your friends anymore, they're his fuel!
When someone dies, their soul energy is transformed into the Flame Clock, which seems to be used to power mechs, as well as the power energy source for the Mobius. I think the consuls are using the flame clocks to collect soul energy, which will be used to fuel their god that they are trying to resurrect. This could also be why the war is happening in the first place. It's very heavily implied that the consuls are the true enemy who is causing this war to happen and is trying to keep the war going for as long as possible. This could all be for their plan to summon God. Maybe they can't use the soul energy that comes off of people who have that ascension ritual thing at the end of their lifespan. If they could keep people dying before their time runs out, then they could use as much fuel as they want to continue their plan. And the best way to farm this life energy is to make two major nations endlessly kill each other to the point where fighting and killing is all the people know. Now, I talked about the whole sacrifice thing, but what about the flood itself? Well, I think there will be a point in the game where the true enemy decides to get the last of its life energy that the god needs by wiping out a ton of people at once. They will cause an event that will kill most of, if not all of Ionios' inhabitants, in order to finally summon the god that they have worked so hard to nourish. This will be the Flood, and Ouroboros, led by Noah, will be the ark that changes fate and leads the people to a better future. Now what this actual flood will be, we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe it'll be a literal flood, maybe it'll be an attack from mechanical force, or the people will turn into monsters, or maybe they'll play the Song of Nephilim and summon a bunch of fog beasts where the party has to fight and... Alright, I should probably just stop there. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Who knows if any of this will happen, or if Noah's Ark will have anything to do with this game. We will only know once the game launches on the 29th. I will definitely be streaming it, so go check that out and subscribe if you're interested. Try to keep spoilers out of the comments and chat until at least I'm finished with the game, please. But anyways, my name is Holden, and I will see you all next time.